Hey everybody. Today's topic we will be talking about the sacred temple. What is the sacred temple? The sacred temple is the balance of man and woman coming together so that they can form their kingdom. Yes. That is what this video is going to be talking about. The balancing of man and woman coming together so that they can properly establish their kingdom. So the first question is, why is man and woman meant to balance themselves out to create a stable kingdom in the spiritual and physical realm?
Because if the foundation isn't strong, the kingdom will fall.
Okay, and how exactly is the foundation supposed to be strong?
Mental strength, spiritual strength, wisdom, understanding, the guidance and the protection of your ancestors, ascendant masters, universe as a whole, God, positive energy. Right? What does the Bible speak of? Having on the full armor of God, right? So it's not until you become balanced within yourself that you become powerful, right? Because the more understanding you have, the more wisdom and knowledge you have, the more strength you have, right? So look at it as pillars. You have your man and your woman. That's the leader of the household is the man, and the leader of the spiritual realm or the oracle or that's the woman, right? So just look at society now. We're torn apart. When I say we, I speak on the melanated community. And when I say the melanated community, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the original man and women, or men and women. So when you have those two mentally and spiritually strong, and then you put them together as husband and wife, because the Bible, again, what God has put together, may no man put asunder, right? So when you have two spiritually and mentally strong individuals, like, who's coming against that?
Right. There is no, you can't break this.
You can't. It's a different bond. A bond that God put together. What has God put together that man can destroy?
Right.
Well, maybe I'll say this way. What has God put together that man doesn't think he's better than, that can be destroyed? Right? God gave us abundance. Man created money.
Right.
Look what money is doing to the world.
What they say, money is the root of all evil?
No, it's for the love of money is the root of all evil, right? Because money can do really great things, but the love of money brings, or it breeds envy and jealousy and greed. And why? Because you love it so much to where that's who you turned into your God, right? So people love money so much more than themselves to where they would demean themselves to get it. Right? So is that God?
No.
Is that godly?
No.
Right? I don't judge anyone, but when you look at some of the things that people are willing to do or to sacrifice for the love of a dollar.
So when you say demean yourself, you mean as far as any aspect, whether it be job, whether it be out here turning tricks, whether it be out here.
Yeah, anything that goes against your own personal morals or your integrity, or would they, i.e., selling your soul?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have to step outside of yourself to gain it, then it's not of God, right? How is that godly?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, because you know you were created to be a certain way, right? So if you go outside of that comfort, now I'm not saying comfort zone as in, you know, I'm afraid to go outside, so I'm just gonna stay in my comfort and stay in the house. No, I'm not talking about that comfort zone. I'm talking about is when you have to put being you on the back burner, you know, because you were created to be you, specifically for you. Your purpose, your journey requires you to be you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
If you put that aside, you're no longer following God's plan, but your own or someone else's. And I'm not going to say your own because you are, you know, the God within you, right? If you put who you are to the back burner, then that's you're following man's purpose, not yours.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So why is it that there are certain, I'm not going to say certain roles, as if each their own is put to that specific guideline, but why is it that man is the physical provider and then woman is the spiritual provider?
I'm not going to say man and women. That's why I use the terms masculine and feminine, right? Because like the last video, you can be a feminine energy in a masculine body, or you can be a masculine energy in a feminine body, right? That's why you find your energetic match, right? And it's not, you know, God didn't put man and man together, right? He didn't put woman and woman together, right? Because you can even go to, you know, the plants and the animals, they were created to repopulate their seed, right? A man and a man can't do that. A woman and a woman can't do that, you know, but a feminine man and a masculine woman can, you know, a feminine woman and a masculine man can. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, again, is so on the egotistical, lusting, sex, what I want, I want, I want, instead of what God needs you to do for your path, for your own personal journey. You know, everybody, they're outside of that. And then you have chaos, right? Because God is simple. Man makes things difficult. You know, so as far as energies go, it's balance, right? For to have a balanced household, you yourself have to be balanced. And if you're out here going against what God has put together, then that is chaos. That is pure chaos. And society shows you this. So thus society becomes unbalanced, right? No, nothing is. They say the animals didn't forget their way, but men did. Men and women did. Unbalanced case in point. We have been this here. I'm talking about now for the past 200 and some odd years. We have been a patriarchal society, right? Look at the presidents. They're all what? They've all been what? Right? So it's like they push the matriarch out. But when we know it's the matriarch that holds a household together, not to put men on a back burner, because that's not what I'm doing. There's balance. There has to be, you know. But let's keep it real. When Big Mama goes, it's gone. Why? Because the woman is the spiritual strength in the household, right? That is the positive energy of when he comes home from being out and dealing with the world. It's, you know, hey baby, how you know, that's if there's love, if there's pure, genuine, unconditional love between
Let
the two.
me give you the love that you didn't get when you were out in
Right.
the world
Let
facing
me-
whatever demons it was that you had to face.
So when you come home, it's different when he comes home to a peaceful house,
Yes.
right? So that there you have the difference between a virtuous woman and a scornful woman, right? When he comes home to a peaceful household, he will get that spiritual love, that genuine spiritual protection that helps him to want to get up the next day to go out and handle the world. Right now, you have women in the household that's miserable, right? And you have men in the household that's miserable. Like, where is the strong foundation in that, right? Because again, hurting people hurt people. So now she's hurting, he's hurting, and the men are the providers. So whatever he's providing and she receives, she reciprocates that. So now they're in the house warring with each other. And then when he leaves the household, he's warring with the world. When he comes back home, he's warring in the house. And then when he leaves, she's at home angry and taking it out on the kids. Right? And then that's what they grow up to be. But because people are so afraid to be alone, they rather deal with that. And negativity breeds negativity. So he's out in the world starting wars, and she's at home creating future warriors. Not in the sense of warriors that's going to be protecting, their women and kids or their husbands, but warriors that's out here fighting and wreaking havoc. And, we both need each other. We both need each other to be whole.
And I think that's like such a valid statement, because you have so many like different people in society either downgrading the woman or downgrading the man to where they don't see the balance of each other, of the fact that they do need each other. Because you have the woman, oh, I don't need a man and I don't need this and da 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 da, and he can't give me this. And then you got the man, oh, F that B and da 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 da, and she can't give me this and that. So they don't see the balancing of one another that it is that they need, because ego or pain or disappointment or past regret, so they take it out on each other, not realizing that they need each other to survive.
Right. We need each other to survive, because you can't create a child without a man. You can't create a child without a woman. You know what I'm saying? So what are you doing? Nothing. And that is the goal of the devil, to want to take over this realm. Right? It's to create chaos. And that's what we have. Chaos. Pure, unadulterated chaos, just running rampant. It's sad. That's where the depression and anger and sadness is just full of negativity. And negativity breeds more negativity. But until each individual person gets tired of it personally to change that, and and until each individual person can what does Aaron always say, water off a duck's back. You know what I'm saying? Until you're able to be strong enough mentally, spiritually, to go out here and understand that hurting people hurt people. So when somebody says something to you that may hurt a little bit, it's for you to realize that, what, they're only doing that because they're hurting, right? That's to have the love of for someone else as you do yourself, is to look at them and see you in them, right? So even from children to teens, to young adults, you look at them. If it was me, how would I want someone to treat me? Right? Knowing that you were at one point there, right? So me being 40, I'm out here. I don't look 40, so I go out here and I get 20-year-olds that pop off at the mouth crazy, right? That's for me to be the adult or the wiser person in the situation, to look at them and remember where I was mentally and spiritually in my early 20s, and to respond to that 20-year-old me, right? Not to reciprocate the energy that is given to me, because once they give it to me and I reciprocate the same thing, it's just gonna breed the same stuff. But if they give it to me and I reciprocate in love, how do you respond to that? To somebody, you calling them all types of names or whatever, and they looking at you like, well, I love you anyway.
Right. Then every piece of pain and hurt and anger that they gave to you is the same thing that's in them now.
Right? So me reciprocating that same hurt doesn't help them to heal, right? It doesn't show them that not everyone is that way. You know, I'm not saying if they getting belligerent and trying to lay hands, they put hands on you. You damn sure I'm gonna put hands back. Like I don't have an issue doing that, but I've grown past that. So thus my actions will show that I've grown past that. Mm-hmm. But I don't forget where I came from, because where I came from made me who I am. Mm-hmm. That's how I know, like fighting, I can do it, but I choose peace. Like why? Why you have to go around there? What do I teach you when your brother and your sister? You know what I'm saying? You peaceful. Don't go out here starting no trouble with nobody for no reason. You have no reason to.
Jesus was flipping tables.
But at the same time, they put their hands on you. Trey out here knocking blocks off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he's not out here causing trouble doing it. He's defending himself, or he's defending the little ones that can't defend themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage that. Thank you, son. As long as you understand that not all battles are your battles. Mm-hmm. You know, but y'all know every time y'all leave the house, I pray over y'all anyway. Yeah. You know.
So how do you heal the masculine and feminine energy within yourself, right? Because a lot of people don't know that you need both within yourself to be balanced within each other in order to direct that balanced energy out into the world.
So what I have learned is growing up for 40 years without knowing my father, not really having too many like masculine, I guess, them protective energies around me. That is what strengthened the masculine energy within me, right? So because my father wasn't there to protect, or I didn't have an older brother to protect, then I had to learn to protect and defend myself, right? A lot of women have. So that's when you get that whole angry black woman, or you get the mean, or no, just look at it as her masculine energy had to be strengthened in order to protect herself. So when you see her out here walking around not smiling, look at it as a man out here not smiling. Men don't go out here smiling at everybody, do that. You know what I'm saying? I've walked past a couple of men. They'll speak, but they damn sure don't. They're not grinning all in my face. Right. So when men start to recognize it's her masculine energy that's projected to protect her, maybe it'll soften them a little bit to understand her life is what caused that, right? And then on the flip side, there are men out here that didn't grow up with the love from their mom. Why? Because maybe she didn't grow up with that love herself. Maybe she had to do the same thing that me and many other women had to do, and that's strengthen the masculine side or the masculine energy within us to protect her children, because there's not a guy around there. So because they didn't get that feminine energy, it's hard for them to understand what love is or how to love, because you get the love from your mom, right? But when the men are in the household, you're getting masculinity from your mother. So it's a lot of men out here that don't understand how to love, right? So it's up to women, in a sense, right, to show that, because a lot of men aren't comfortable with their emotional side. Women, we are born with, we're all born with that emotional side, but I think as a feminine woman, you are more apt to portray that, to show that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it is individual. You as a individual have to want different for yourself and for your children. Mm-hmm. So I can only really speak on myself once I realize that's what my masculine energy does. I'm a woman and I'm a feminine woman, right? But until I feel safe enough in anyone's presence to display that, you're going to get that masculine side. And what do I mean by the masculinity? I mean, that's my logical mental, right? That's what men are: ego, mind, thought, right? Women are spiritual, emotional, loving, heart, right? So you're gonna get that logical side. I hear what you're saying, but you think I'm about to be no, I'm watching what you're doing. I'm looking at what you're doing. I'm listening to what you're saying. So you're going to get that thought process from me. Before I let that mental guard down for to allow you to step forward to reap any benefit from my loving side. Right? I think in the last video I said what? Unless you get past my mental, you damn sure ain't getting. That's my protection. My father wasn't. I mean, everybody has it, but it's more reinforced when your father isn't there to show you that he's going to protect you and also give you that love.
And the same thing goes for men as far as if the mother wasn't as loving as they feel like she should have been, to where that energy isn't given from their mom. So now they have to harden their heart until they meet a woman that can soften it for them.
And the thing is a lot of men, they do meet women that can soften it for them. They just don't recognize what love is because they didn't grow up with love, right? So it's a lot of women out here being hurt because they're looking for the love that their father never gave them, right? And men aren't recognizing the love that they're giving to them because they didn't get that love from their mother. Or hurting people hurt people. But when women start to understand that you have to give that love to yourself, right? The Bible says, well, as a child, you do, childish shit. But when you become an adult, you have to, at some point, put those childish things away because you are no longer a child. You can no longer blame mommy and daddy because you are your own person. You can learn from those experiences and then move forward. But holding on to that hurt and that pain is not doing anything beneficial for you. It's not doing anything beneficial for your children. It's just perpetrating the same hurt and negativity.
And then repeats the cycle.
And have we not seen it? It's been repeating cycles for decades. Right? But until we as a people get tired, like genuinely get tired of it, it's gonna continue. Right? That's why I don't really like going out that much, because I see it. Right? And once your eyes are open to certain things, it's Bible says what the in layman's is the more wisdom and knowledge you have, the more distressed you're going to be, because you can see it. You see it. So me walking out, and I know this is going to piss people off, but I can back it up from a science point of view, nature, biblical. When I go out here and I see all of these foreigners with different, it's crazy. Like, you don't see the animals out here doing. I ain't never seen a zebra with a camel. Well, I'm gonna use the same, I guess, species, subspecies, same species. I'm gonna use the same species, right? You see a chimpanzee with a baboon?
No.
You see a panther with a lion? No. Do you see what else can I use it? A red ant and a black ant? No. Do they mate? Are they together? Mm-hmm. What about a beetle and a ladybug? No. But they're both insects. Right? So there's a love who you love. No, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's not love who you love. Is you put some logic to it. Look at what nature is, look at what God is showing you, and you put your emotions to it. But everybody is so egotistical and backwards and lustful to where, man, as soon as they see something with some tits and ass, oh, I gotta go talk to her. But that ain't it, bro.
Mm-hmm. And then you get into that relationship and you end up falling on your face because you thought the girl that looked good on the outside.
But what do they? But then the first thing they want to do is blame a black woman for why they made their own choices. Mm-hmm. Whose fault was it that you went with her? It wasn't a black woman's fault that you went there because you were impatient. Because you wanted to get your dick wet before God introduced you to who you were supposed to be with. But when you understand like nature and chaos, and when you start learning that, you realize that it was those decisions that got us here. You know what I'm saying? Because now you have a different mental, like you're mixing and matching different mentalities, different spiritual levels, right? Because when you understand the scientific makeup of what melanin is, you wouldn't be out here just giving it to anybody. They out here just giving it to anybody.
It's a God-given blessing to even have, to even be a part of that bloodline.
But they out here mixing and matching. And it's not just, men's fault. It's women's
too.
fault. Women out here doing it too for what? Money. Because in her head, all black men broke. No. All the black men you were introduced to is broke. Because I met some black men that ain't close to broke. I met some broke ones. I met some non-broke ones. But because she impatient. Now the problem is because they ain't giving it up freely. But then whose fault is that? Because you're a grown up, like you an adult. You're supposed to be out here taking care of yourself anyway. So why did you wait for somebody else to do things for you? You won't even do for yourself. But I'd be here all day talking about that.
Right, that makes a lot of sense though. Those are all the questions I had. But if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, y'all can always, go to the links in the description box, and y'all can go to the Facebook page, and y'all can type anything there, or y'all can go to the email. But yeah, those are the questions I had, and I think you answered each of those dopely. I'm gonna say that word. Dopely.
Appreciate you.
All right.